Hello out there. I've just been doing a lot of searching on the YouTube and links off of it about just the setups we've been going through. Well, first let me tell you about a site called, everybody got a pencil and paper or whatever to write down? There's a site called ZEITGEIST.org, Zeitgeist, or if I'm pronouncing it right, wrong, it's still Zeitgeist, ZEITGEIST.org, .org, to see a real heavy thing about our country, the banking system, the World Trade Centers, our motives for causing war, and including this Iraq war. Okay. As far as the World Trade Centers were concerned, never has a building been brought down by fire that was made out of steel. Okay. I watched a lot of films today about other buildings that burned for almost a day, and they just left steel skeletons. These twin towers came down almost in a free fall. That means like they were just dropped out of the sky and came straight down. Impossible. Plus there were blast sites shown in the pictures where, like charges were going off, either thermite charges or there's another word for the cord, but it's basically an explosive cord they tie around beams. And they found beams that were cut at angles. They said they would have to be cut at angles to do a controlled demolition of buildings. And they found beams that were melted and melted at angles, and cordite. Yeah, that's the word for it, cordite. That's not really mainly the one that could do it, but this new stuff called not thermite, it's one step up from that, thermast, anyway, sulfur's added to it. Okay, it makes this stuff, you just tie it around a steel beam. I don't care if the beam's the size of a house, it'll cut it in half like a knife, a hot knife going through butter. Okay, I think it's thermast. These buildings fell just like that. Plus, you've seen the blast sites coming out of the little puffs of smoke from charges and stuff, and people, all kinds of witnesses reported hearing massive, like firework type things as just prior to the buildings coming down. Okay, all these charges that were set. Anyway, and then you have also another building that didn't fall on 9/11 till 5:20 in the afternoon, which was the main one. It was the main headquarters for the mayor, among other things. It was a 47-story building that wasn't hit by a plane. Okay, had a couple minor fires in it, and it dropped free fall again, like it was a controlled demolition. All right. Now, keep this zeitgeist in mind, okay? There's so much you're gonna learn. It's gonna make you sick. But we gotta react and do something about this, because people in high powers are just I guess since Kennedy, and by the way, JFK. Ever since the king man, the main man, a good man, was killed, murdered, okay, they realized how in the open they could do it. People running right towards the sites where it actually came from and stuff. Nobody running towards a book depository. People running towards the knoll, the grassy knoll. Okay, nothing going on. Yeah, you have the cop behind the you have badge man in the woods there, with a trained man on one side and a army man on the other side. Okay, and here he is firing a gun. Okay, if you don't believe me, you don't have to. But I've seen enhanced photographs, recomputerized and stuff like that. Other things such as the wars and stuff, they've all been made, okay, let's get back to 9/11. That was made up. It turned out that the actual Air Force was conducting the exact type and the exact location drills of what was going to happen on 9/11 with planes crashing into the buildings. Yet nobody reacted till 80 minutes after the buildings were hit. The planes stayed on the ground. Okay, well, what'd they do? Land and then what? Sit around and have a hot cup of coffee and that, and then take off 80 minutes later? Okay? All right, so you do stuff like that with the buildings, and that gives us a terroristic type attitude and outlook, and you got the president saying it. So now he's getting his beer muscles on or whatever to go and finish his father's war. Okay, his father could not take out Saddam Hussein, or refused to, or just stopped, whatever, punked out, and so his son, his warmonger son, our present president, decided to get elected and take out and finish his father's war for him. Okay, under the guise of these mass destruction weapons of mass destruction. Never found. No weapons of mass destruction ever found. Okay? They find Saddam in a hole waiting to be caught. Okay? He's in a dirt hole. Okay? Waiting to be caught. Okay? So we got, Bush goes over everybody's head, starts the war, goes in, blasting away, shock and awe, all this stuff. Then it turns into, when they don't find weapons of mass destruction, then it turns into Operation Freedom or whatever. And then we branch off into the other cat there, Osama bin Laden. Okay, can't find him, and if we did, supposedly he's replaced by another guy who's got a fatter nose, a darker complexion. There's so much stuff. You got to look it up on Zeitgeist. Okay? The banking institutions have nothing to lose. Okay? There's always money to be made by everybody with war. Okay? And now we're taking over the oil pipelines and stuff like that over in Iraq and that, because we need oil and we will get it no matter how we have to get it. Okay, so but now we're going to branch off into Iran. Okay, and they got nuclear stuff and all that. I know I'm skipping around because I'm going to run out of time here. Okay, the world's being split up. By the way, the borders of the U.S., Canada, and Mexico are being done away with, and we're going to be dealing with what's called the AMERO'S. Okay, you got your Euros, and you're going to have the AMERO'S for the United States, Canada, and Mexico, but it won't even be called that anymore, because the world's going to be divided into 4 parts and then finally come together as a one world order. And there's a lot of stuff more that I can tell you about, and I'll try to get you another tape out about it. But things that, man, our government has really lied to us just to get it. Oh man, they're pulling the wool over our eyes. Okay, smoke slow out.